Hi, welcome to the Gear Garage. My name is Zach, and this is my show about whitewater things. And today I'm going to do a unique review. I'm going to review this power bank by a company, Techoss. I'm going to review it just for its general use, like at home in an emergency, but then talk about how I might use it in the backcountry or for a whitewater environment. And just as a disclaimer, they sent me this for free to test, and they asked me to do a free review for them in exchange for this, this thing. And they asked for it to be honest. So this is my honest review of this thing that I was given to test out. And first of all, I like it. I like it around the house a lot. Like since I got it, I've been using it to charge my phone or my laptop, and it's portable power to move around, and it's a lot of power. It'll charge your iPhone theoretically 53 times, which is a lot of charges. And although it's pretty big, it's bigger than a small charger, it's not that big, and it's easy to carry around. So I like having it around the house. But also, if there was an emergency, it sure would be nice to have a big battery so you can, power a radio for a while, power phones, whatever. So it's just a nice thing to have around the house. And some things I like about it just in general is it has this like strap to carry it if you need to carry it. It has the big handle, of course. It has an output. You can just plug a regular wall. It's a wall socket. I powered these lights for a while with it. It was pretty cool. And it has a regular DC input right here, so I can plug this in and it'll power it. I was hoping my solar panel would power it, because my solar power has that same output right here. And so I tested my solar panel, but it didn't seem to want to charge off my solar panel. Now I know they sell their own solar panel. It probably works like that, but I never got it to work with my solar panel. So theoretically, a solar panel could charge this, which would be really cool in some sort of emergency or like long-term backcountry situation. One of the problems with solar panels on a river trip is you have to set it out and then charge all your things. Well, it's a big mess, where it'd be nice just to charge this and then charge everything off that, but that's a whole other thing. On this side, there's all kinds of cool things. On the top, there's a display that tells you the input and output, which is super interesting. I'm not sure if you can see that in the camera, but I know it's taking in 75 watts of power right now. And when I plug things in, it tells me how much is going out, and there's a big battery indicator. So that's pretty cool. It also has this cigarette lighter output and these other outputs. I have no idea what they're for. I don't ever use any of these anymore. I'm not sure who does. This seems like a waste of space to me, but maybe somebody needs these outputs for something. It also has this light, which is kind of cool. It doesn't hurt. In an emergency, it doesn't hurt to have a light. So, it's easy, and I think it's not a bad idea. And it has one regular USB port and one USB-C port. And I honestly, when I'm charging a bunch of things. A camera, a GoPro, a drone, a laptop. I would love to see a lot more of these. I just think that we are using tons of these, so I would eliminate this and just have like 2 or 3 of each of these. You can't have too many of these outputs. The cool thing about the USB-C is that you can also power it with it. This has a power cable right here that charges it in a couple hours. It's a whole thing. It has this little box thing. I don't like having a zillion cables, and so I might lose this, I might forget this, and it sure is nice to know I can charge it through USB-C. The only thing is I tested it, and when I did test it, it wasn't charging. And so I think you might need a special USB-C adapter for the wall. I'm not sure, but I couldn't get this to work, and maybe mine just, I'm doing it the wrong way. But it's really nice that I don't have to have this power cable to charge this thing. So overall, it's cool. I'm pretty stoked to have it. Again, I think for an emergency around the house, or for a road trip where it's just in the truck for backup stuff, or just camping for some quick things, it's a pretty handy thing to have. Of course, I think there could be some cool changes in terms of like having more power things. Now, in terms of boating, would I want this on a river trip? And I think that there's some really cool applications for boating. One of them is like a lot of people bring solar panels to charge all their things. This will charge a lot of stuff, so you could not deal with the solar panels. Like again, you get to camp, you set it up, you only have so many hours in the evening to get power. So this could maybe provide enough power for a very long extended trip, and you don't have to provide solar. Or you could combine them, right? The only thing is my solar panel didn't work, so maybe that's my user error, maybe there's something and you have to get a special solar panel to work with it. It is electronic, so it can't get wet, and man, I sure would love if this thing fit in a pretty standard dry box. The Pelican 1400 is like kind of the go-to dry box, and it almost wants to fit. Like if they just made it a little bit shorter, right, and a little bit wider, it could be the same thing. and fit in this dry box. I mean, if it was me, I would design it to fit in this dry box. That sure would be an awesome selling point because so many people use this Pelican 1400. I'm sure there's a dry box that fits it. It just would be really cool if it fit really well and maximize the space in there to do it with. But overall, this thing's super cool. If you want something like this, I'd like this one. Again, like I think the big downside is I would love to see a lot more of these ports. But otherwise, it's kind of cool. So if you have questions about it, you know anything about batteries, battery packs, whatever, leave them in the comments below. And yep, thanks for watching. See you next time.